All right, welcome friends. Today's chair yoga class is going to be loosely themed, going with the flow. And sometimes I spend a great deal of time preparing for class. And this was one of those classes where I wanted to remind myself to go with the flow, because sometimes I can get so locked in on we're going to do all the things I know how to do for balance, or we're going to do all the things I know how to do for peripheral neuropathy. And I sort of, get a little bit distanced from being in it and being in the stream of what's happening. So I kind of want our theme today, although I did do some preparation for this, I always do, is just simple, repetitive movements to increase energy and focus. And this, sort of brings me to two yoga philosophy teachings I want to share with you. So if while I'm talking for the next minute, you want to get into a comfortable posture, you want to stretch your arms, you want to make some small movements, you want to take a sip of tea, you could even close your eyes and just take some breaths. We'll do a breath practice in a moment. So going with the flow, what does that mean to you? I want to discuss this after class. In our yoga philosophy, we have yamas and niyamas. These are sort of like moral disciplines, inner observation, inner observances. And a very important one of these, the fifth yama, is something called aparigraha. And it means non-attachment, non-possessiveness. So I'm releasing attachment of an expectation of a result. Even though I just told you we're here to increase energy and focus, let's practice today for the love of practicing. And that can be it. And then another niyama, the fifth niyama, we're going with the fifth of things today, which is more of an inner observance, is something called Isvara Pranidhana. And that is sort of surrender to the divine flow. And this is probably one of the hardest things to do. It's just kind of not only be in touch with what is the flow that's happening right now, but to actually, rather than fight against it, oh, today's a day I don't have much energy, and yet here I am, and I'm going to push myself through that. Maybe instead I could just, kind of be in the moment of what is. Surrendering to, maybe there's a big effortful pose. You want to be sort of more surrendering in that pose. Or, and this could be useful for this community today, maybe we want to dedicate our practice to someone else or to the larger Waldenstrom's community. Okay, so those are just two kind of little concepts. I'll plant some seeds and we'll hopefully weave throughout. So let's begin our going with the flow practice with a little bit of chimes. You can take your feet on the earth, sit up with some support behind you. Allow the arms to rest and soften the gaze or close the eyes. And the first flow that we want to tune into is the flow of the breath. Always there. We just turn our attention to that sensation of breathing in, breathing out, beginning to arrive in this yoga space together. Just observing the rhythm and the flow of your breath. Can you take some breaths with me? In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. And maybe just for a moment, you could envision the ocean and those waves on the ocean breaking on the shore and receding. The breath comes in, the wave peaks. The breath goes out, the wave recedes. Maybe you could take 3 ocean breaths, just like that, observing the tidal rhythm of your breath. Very good. Now I'm going to take my glasses off if I'm wearing them, or I could leave them on, totally up to you. Judy already knows what's coming. Rubbing the hands together, rubbing the paws together. And maybe sending this one out to somebody who has been working at the computer for the whole morning and needs to drink in a little nourishment of this darkness. I'm going to cup my palms over my eyes, just block out a little bit of that light, lubricate the eyes by rolling them around in the eye sockets. Still have my feet on the earth, and I might just turn my gaze from side to side, up and down, all within this beautiful nourishing space of my palms or my paws. And then when you're ready, you could just release the hands down. Maybe you take a little massage on the way, whatever feels good. Any part of the body. Maybe you put the glasses back on, maybe you don't. And I'm just going to attend to my head and neck, and then we'll get into some whole body, slow flow movements. So I have to take care of my neck. Let's go ahead and just tilt the head from side to side. And as I tilt the head from side to side, my arms are relaxed down at my sides. Let the arms just dangle. All right, I see you, Allison. Glad you're here. And we will make sure you're counted in our attendance today. So moving my head from side to side. Arms are dangling at the sides, and I might come back to that tidal rhythm of my breath, moving in, moving out. Practicing today for the love of practicing. Dedicating my practice to this community or to a particular person in this community who needs support right now. Those are some ways we can release attachment. And then I might also come on back to center and take some very small little circles if you're not already doing that, because sometimes folks just have a way of finding the next thing on their own. Little circles of the head and neck, you've got it. And if you hear a lot of crackling and popping, etc., maybe you make the circle a little smaller, still lubricating. That synovial fluid being gently released. You could circle the other direction. And then if there are any other head, neck movements you want to make, you could go back to that massage, the trap muscles, right? Those muscles that can get so tight. Just taking a moment to find any little points of tension and see if you could do a little self-release. And as I breathe out, I can kind of let go of effort. Kind of letting go and, using the breath for our simple movements and stretches can be so beneficial for getting more out of them. So let's go ahead and do some whole body movements. I'm going to come away from the back of my chair. Coming away from the back of my chair. My arms are still resting at my sides, and I'm just going to gradually wake my shoulders up. So I'll inhale the arms up just a little bit, and exhale them down, palms facing down. Each time I lift, I might come a little bit higher. Maybe one arm doesn't go higher. It's all good. You make the choice as to what feels best. Breathing in, breathing out. Flowing with my breath. Getting the blood flowing, getting the lymph fluid moving. Can I come down with slow control? Breathing in. You've got it, Lois. Beautiful. Breathing out. Now, with the arms going up a little bit higher, maybe the palms face up and then the palms face down. So I'm creating this circle of self-care all around me. This whole space today is my space to take care of myself and practice for the love of practicing. Finding that breath. Maybe one or two more, or you can always stop if your body tells you to. All right, bringing the hands again down at the sides. Let them be nice and heavy. I'm going to lift one shoulder at a time, up, back, and down, like I'm shrugging off a heavy backpack, one strap at a time, and letting that, all those cares and concerns and burdens just drip off the ends of my fingers. Take that weight off of my shoulders. So many of us carry lots and lots of tension in the head and neck. So I want to just do a few more of these shoulder up, back, and down circles. All right, and then let's come back. We're going to inhale both arms out and up. And as we exhale, we'll bring the arms down to the right, twist the whole body to the right. Inhale, arms up to center. Exhale, twisting left, arms coming down. So do this at your own pace. Inhaling. Exhaling. You go as far as feels good. No more, no less. Waking up my spine with this gentle, gentle twist. You got it, Joan. Beautiful. One more to the left. And then I'm coming back. Hands to heart center. And I'll take a moment with the hands resting at heart center, maybe even physically feeling the touch of my palms or my wrists on the breastplate. I could close my eyes and just take a moment to surrender, allow the softness to enter into the jaw and shoulders. So I really have to practice this art of surrender. And one way I can do that is by following my exhalation all the way out. So I could take a breath in. As I exhale, I can just let all of that air out. One more breath. Beautiful. Opening the eyes if you had them closed. And we'll take the arms once again out to the sides, palms facing forward. Maybe it's just one arm. That would be totally fine. I'm going to lift my heart, squeeze my shoulder blades, bring the arms back. So I'm getting a pretty nice stretch across the chest. Big breath. And then as I exhale, I'm coming in for a hug. One arm on top, doesn't matter which. I'm going to tuck my chin and give myself a breath of space in the upper back. Good, and then let's go ahead and open those arms again. Little tiny back bend, so heart is lifting, arching the back, and then we'll come in for the hug again, opposite arm on top. Tuck that chin. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, open wide, arch the back. Here I am what I am. And then give yourself a hug. One arm on top, tucking the chin, big breath, and releasing from there. Okay, I'm going to take a little wider stance here. And I'm going to bring my arms out to the sides. I've got my sit bones rooting down, my feet are rooting down. I have a nice wide stance. I'm going to reach over to the right a little bit with my torso and then reach over to the left. And I'm just going to sort of flow here from side to side. Maybe some other kind of movement comes into my arms. You got it, Beth. I'm thinking like a little sea anemone on a tidal pool floor. Keeping that breath flowing. That's good, Anne. I love what you got going on there. So I'm getting this nice stretch to my torso, and I'm just flowing along here. And just holding my arms out like this, I'm also getting some strength work into my shoulders. If my arms get tired, I can stop. Reaching from side to side. And then I'm going to come back to center and bring my arms down onto my lap. Give the shoulders a break and take some circles of the torso. Easy circles. And as you do these easy circles, can you let go of holding the belly? Let the belly be soft and full and the exact shape that it really is, so that we can send the breath into the belly. Maybe you want to move in the other direction. Good, just waking up the spine. You got it, Joe. Then I'm coming back to center. I'm going to grab onto my chair, walk my feet in and out. So I'm using the strength of my core and lubricating my hip joints. Just a little walk in and walk out. Finding your breath. Maybe there's some other movement that your body's calling you to do here with the legs. That would be great. I'm going to come back to center and stretch that right leg out. Hold that leg up, point and flex a few times, and then switch it up. Left leg lifted, point and flex. You got it, Flora. Beautiful. So lifting, extending, and doing what feels good with the lower limb, the ankle or the calf. Right? I'm going to do one more on each side. So just waking up the lower limbs, doing what you can do here. All right, and then I'm going to come into my warrior two foot positioning, and let's go ahead and bring that right leg over to the right. This is an open hip posture. Yeah, take a sip of water. The left leg is going to come right out in front here with the heel on the earth and the toe lifted. And you can hold on to kind of get yourself set up. I might sweep that left leg over to the left a little bit more. So do what feels good. And we're going to flow here. So try to do the seated version, because if you're going to do the standing version, you'll be standing for a while. And I don't want to put that much pressure on you right away. So my heart is facing you. You notice that with the warrior two, the hips and the heart are in line here. And I'm going to float my arms out to the sides. I'll start by turning my gaze over that right hand. And we're going to do a few of these. So I'll flip the right hand, trace the ceiling with the right hand, left arm coming down, reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two, reaching forward, bringing that right arm down and the left arm up for an extended side angle. Coming back to warrior two. Are you breathing? Bringing that left arm down, right arm reaching, reverse warrior. Warrior two, flowing right through to extended side angle. And I might take one more little flow. Reverse the warrior. You got it, Karen. Beautiful. And moving through warrior two to my extended side angle. I might hold this one for a moment. And engage both legs. Really reach through that left hand, left wrist, and then come on back to center. And I'm walking both feet to center, and I'm just going to take a breath between sides. Maybe you want to tilt the pelvis so you're just pulling the belly towards the spine, and then both accentuating and then erasing the lumbar curve. So it's a very subtle little movement, just waking up the low back. And then I'll move to my warrior two on the second side. Left leg and toes to the left. That right foot can come out front with the heel on the earth, toe lifted. Sweep it to the side to whatever degree feels good. Heart is still facing you. You got it. And then I'm floating my arms out to the sides, turning my gaze over that left arm. And I'll reverse my warrior now. Flip that left hand, trace the ceiling, right arm come down. Flow through warrior two to your extended side angle. Left arm down, right arm reaching up and over. And then we'll go ahead and keep flowing here from your reverse warrior through warrior two to extended side angle. Inhaling, lifting, and exhaling, reaching, bringing that left arm down, right arm reaching. We'll stay here. We'll just take one big breath. You got it, Edith. And then I'm coming back to center and bringing both legs back to center. And just sitting in place for a moment, I'm going to lift up my heels and lift up my toes. So I'm rocking my feet if this is possible for me. Maybe I'm just doing this with my mind if it is not. Lifting the toes, lifting the heels. So I'm getting a nice little rock of the feet. And then we're going to prepare to stand up. So I'm going to come to the very edge of my seat. If today is a day when you need to rest, you're arriving into class very depleted, you've already done a lot of stuff, you can stay seated. But I'm going to practice my sit to stands. And I'm going to do between 3 and 5 of these. It's up to you how many you do. So I'm just going to inhale, stand, turn on those glute muscles, and exhale, sit with the glute muscles engaged. Right? Be safe above all else. Now, if you have knee issues and your knees start to bark at you, you will just stop. So that's really nice, Karen. So doing however many feels good to you. And anytime, my friends, that you come up out of a chair, you could do 3 of these and really get those glute muscles nice and strong. So I'm going to take a moment, take a little sip of water, and get back into my flow. So coming to stand or remaining seated, whatever is good for you. I'm going to come down into my chair pose. I've bent my knees and I brought my hips back. My belly is towards my spine, and I'm going to let my arms just totally dangle here. I'm even swinging them a little bit. You got it. And now I'm going to inhale and lift the arms, straighten the knees. Exhale, sink down, let the arms swing and hang. Inhale, lift and reach the arms. Exhale, sink, let the arms relax. And let's take one more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the arms down, let them dangle. Now I'm going to straighten my legs and take a little space between my feet. reach the heart forward and let the arms swing from side to side. Let the arms be really heavy. So I'm not using any muscles in my arms, and I'm allowing that space to open up in my fingertips, my wrists, elbows, shoulders. You got it, Jennifer. I like the sachet. It's beautiful. Okay. All right. And then I'm coming up, and while I'm here, I might as well do some hip circles. So with that little bit of a wider stance, as if I were wearing an imaginary hula hoop that would never fall, circling my hips, however large of a circle feels good. Forward, side, back, side, forward. Maybe you want to go the other direction. So good. You got it, Joanne. All right. And then with a slightly shorter stance, I'm going to come into a little bit of a bent knee. And with my bent knees and my arms kind of loose, I'm going to remember that little sea anemone on the tidal pool floor. And I'm going to come up and reach the arms up and sink down and let the arms dangle. So I'm inviting this sort of flow movement and doing what feels good to me. Maybe there's a little tiptoe lift involved with one foot coming up onto one tiptoe. I like it. It's very nice. You got it. Beautiful, Jane. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. I'm practicing for the love of practicing, of having a body that can move, and maybe it moves in a way that I want. Maybe it moves in a way I don't want, but I'm here just practicing. And then we'll get into some more classic yoga asana shapes. So I like to play with that sea anemone shape. So I'm going to take my right foot forward and left foot back for warrior one. That left foot is at a little bit of an angle, and there's a nice wide base. So I'm sinking into this front knee and squeezing the left glute. If you feel safe doing so, you can bring the arms at the sides, and we can flow a little bit here too. As I inhale, I'm going to reach up, straightening that right knee. As I exhale, the hands can come to heart center. You can also just keep a hand on the chair if you would prefer. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Inhale, straighten that right knee. Exhale, sink down. One more. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, sink down. Feel that strength in your legs, in your glute muscles, in your core. You got it, Judith. And now we'll come out of it and shorten the stance. Both legs straight. I'm going to take a little forward fold and come back up. So I'm doing these little dips. The hands could be on the hips. Doing these little dips, it helps stretch my hamstring and back. Chin is tucked. Right? The whole back. I'm not rounding my back. It's like I'm a little mechanical bird dipping my beak in the bird bath. And I might wish to stay static for a moment. Maybe the hands or forearms rest on the chair. And I could just take a breath. Sigh it out. And then I'll go ahead and come up and switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. That right foot is at a little angle as I bend into my left knee, squeeze that right glute muscle. This side could feel different, so just honoring whatever you come across. We're going to flow. Inhale, arms rise, straighten the knee. Exhale, hands to heart center, sink into the knee. Or do any part of this that feels good to you. Breathing in and out. Practicing for the love of practicing. And we might hold here, hands at heart center, feeling that strength in your legs, in your core. What can you let go of? Good. Come on out of it. Shortening the stance, both legs straight, hands to the hips, perhaps as we take those little dips forward and up at whatever speed feels good without rounding the back. And I'm taking really good care of my neck here by tucking my chin. And this last one, I might stay in my forward fold, get some support from my chair, and feel that nice stretch. Good. Make your way out of it, nice and slow. And standing at the back of my chair here, I'm just going to come up onto my tiptoes and relax back down a few times if that's in my practice today. And if I want to, I could also use the arms, one arm or both arms. So I'm floating myself up and down with my breath. Got it, Marnie. See if you can hold up at the top, slowly come down. 3 more. Right, or maybe you're done. That would be fine too. Got it, Catherine. All right. And then go ahead and take a little sip of water or whatever you have going. And we'll get ready to wind down. Unless you want to, do some jumping jacks or fly around the room quacking like a duck, that would be fine. I'm ready to sit, stretch my hips. So I'm coming to sit nice and slow, taking the slow ride down. All right, you got it, Kim. Beautifully done. And I'll start with my right ankle over my left knee. Maybe I take a moment to just tap the bottom of my right foot or gently massage the bottom of my right foot. And I've been getting through the winter by oiling up my feet before bedtime every night. And I do not have those cracks on my heels anymore. It's been amazing to... It's also a really nice part of my bedtime routine that I love. Helps me sleep, I think. So coming into our hip stretch, I'll just grab on to what's available, lean my heart forward, and take some breaths here. The gaze softly down, letting the shoulders relax, letting the jaw relax. One more big breath. You've got it. And then we're sitting up tall, crossing that knee over. Maybe I inhale my arms up today. And as I exhale, I'm twisting to the right, bringing those arms down, grabbing onto whatever's available for support. I'm not going to force this. I'm using my own core muscles. You got it, Susan. And then releasing back to center, switching sides with that left ankle over the right knee, taking a moment to connect with the lower limb. Maybe it's the shin or calf, maybe it's the bottom of the foot. And then I'll move into my hip stretch by leaning my heart forward to whatever degree feels good for you. The side could feel totally different, right? You might not need to go very far before you feel a lot of sensation. And this is a great antidote to all the walking and biking and things like that that we do, where the hips only go one direction, right? The glute muscles need this. Sitting up tall, crossing the knee over, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, twist left. Use those core muscles to twist. You've got it, Bev. Peeking over that left shoulder, use those core muscles. Big breath in, nice and tall. Roxanne, looking good, beautiful. And slowly coming back to center, take a big stretch. Stretch everything, stretch through the legs, stretch through the fingertips or the arms. Give yourself another delicious hug. Thank yourself for making this time, and we will close our session with a little guided relaxation. So friends, if you have a comfortable place to either sit or recline, you're welcome to find that. Maybe you want to actually lay down on a couch or a floor. It's a very important part of our practice is the practice of Shavasana. So coming to relax, maybe you're seated, right? Maybe you want to put a layer on if you get cold easily. So just getting yourself situated. Coming to sit or recline exactly as you are. Closing the eyes if they're not already closed, or softening the gaze down. And just letting go of all the doing. Can you give yourself permission to just be here exactly as you are in this moment? If it would feel good, you can go back to following the tidal rhythm of the breath. Perhaps the image of the ocean waves coming back into your mind's eye. Breathing in, breathing out. And now, just for a moment longer, can you envision yourself as being held by a giant hand? And you can nestle into that hand, and as you breathe out, let the whole body drain of effort while you relax, while you let go of effort, while you surrender, just letting yourself be here in this moment. Maybe just for today, I won't worry about that thing. And maybe I can trust in my higher power. My higher power will take care of whatever the thing is. If you would like to stay in this reclining or relaxing state, you can stay here as long as you like. If you're ready to come out, you could come to a more upright posture. Maybe bring the hands to heart center, or rest the hands on the heart. Take a few breaths in and out of the heart space, knowing that you are not alone. You are never alone with this Waldenstrom's community. Whether you're here as a caregiver, or you have Waldenstrom's or another issue, you're never alone. So feeling that connection of our community. And I'll seal our practice today with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. You could listen or join in on your own end, breathing in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. Namaste.